Officer Tan, what were you doing in the moments leading up to the discharge of your firearm?
I was in pursuit of a suspect. Ryan and I were
Officer Doheny.
Officer Doheny and I were following a suspect through the hall when he turned the corner.
Which corner?
How are you feeling?
I think it was the west end of the hall.
You think? Well, which end was it, Officer Tan?
It's so relatable to what's going on in the world, but it takes it a step further, right? It takes it, and I don't want to give it away to people, but it's almost like you've got this character, he's Asian American, he is being called a racist, all while he's experiencing the racism as a victim at the same time. And people they just don't understand that. Now, in your life as an Asian American, have you experienced this type of racism as well?
Every day.
Wow.
It's unfortunate every day. And obviously you realize the film was made a little bit, a few years ago. Can't say how many. I'm not quite sure when Amy starts to count,
Okay.
But unfortunately, it's still timely, and more timely than ever. I'm very disappointed in.
Yeah.
However, given the fact that it is timely, and that we are creating an opportunity to have conversations about this complex issue.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
No, that's. It's crazy. I want to tell everybody sort of what happens and what unfolds in the film, but I do want people to watch it because I think it's super important. And something I'm going to say about it, and you can agree with me or not, is that I think it's not your typical cookie cutter movie where it's like, a cop shoots a black man and things are, you know what I mean? Things just erupt in the city. It goes crazy. It's not like that. It's so much more complicated. It's so much deeper than that, right?
Yeah, I think what Amy did was that, she had this huge canvas on a huge, so charged of a topic, but she focuses in the nucleus of the family.
Right.
And I think that's the unique part of it, is that we never really get to see the curtain pull back.
Yeah.
And see that part of it. We see all the big pieces, the demonstrations, all of the more overt, more in your face, where the media tends to cover.
Yeah.
We very seldom get a sense and a feel to what happens to the people who orbits around these people. And that's who we are,
Right. As the family. Yeah. You see how it, it really, it affects everybody when this type of thing happens. And it's interesting. I don't know if it's a cultural thing either, but your wife in the film, she made me so mad, and I don't know. She's so annoying. It's almost like all you care about is yourself and how this affects you. It's almost like being a parent. You do internalize everything that your child feels, and you really feel for them, and it breaks your heart. And I don't know if it was just the way, just the cultural differences between Americans and where she is from, but she did not sympathize with her son. And I think that was on purpose, the way it was written, but it really pissed me off. That was part of the movie where I was just like, it was almost like I loved watching you, and I loved your character as the dad, because he was there for his son. He really understood what he was going through, I mean, I don't know if that's how you felt or if that's, the dynamic of it, like good cop, bad cop, no pun intended with
right.
the parents, but that's how it felt to me.
It's definitely, when you have these contrasts, this is where you have points of drama, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we bring out these conversations. It is a debate, correct? It is a debate, and Amy does not favor one side or the other. So these parents, the mother and father, gives you that kind of a very opposite way of reacting, to a son. I mean, not necessarily a profession that they
Mhm.
really want him to be in,
Yeah.
So that's a tough one, really.
Yeah.
It's a,
Exactly.
he's not a doctor, like the sister.
Mhm. I know. I know.
And that's hard. I mean, when you're the son in our culture, you're supposed to hold the mantle of everything, right? And meanwhile, sister is shining as the MD, and
Mhm.
you're a cop.
Yeah.
And as far as the police profession in our culture is it's not so black and white.
Not
We're
anymore.
not sure. We're absolutely not. We're not sure. You know,
Yeah.
but where do you? I mean, how do we look at authority? How do we look at this kind of what exerts control over our lives
Right.
is in question, and rightly so in this in what we're looking at. You
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't even imagine at this point wanting to go into the field of law enforcement just because
Hmm.
it's like one mistake, it can change your life and someone else's life forever. And it doesn't matter if, in this case, it doesn't matter if it was a mistake. It happened. And it's
Right.
almost like you sit here and I was racking my brain and I was like, what is the proper punishment for something like this? You took
Hmm.
someone's life. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if this person did anything or not, or if they're about to do something. You took their life. Now what? But you didn't mean to. What
Right.
happens to you? You're saving lives all day. So it's a tough situation, obviously. Now, going back to something that you said before, did you feel any kind of pressure in your family, just culturally, when you said you were going to be an actor? Is that what they did? Did they laugh at you?
Yeah, they laughed and they said, well, it's okay. Go keep on playing for a little bit and then
Oh,
go get a real job.
yeah. They didn't think that you'd be who you are now.
Yeah, it's a phase, He said, they thought I was going through a phase.
Did they really?
Yes, they said, he's the youngest son, so
Hmm.
let him go through his phase.
And now you're
He'll
like,
get out of it.
look at my face now. I'm just on the red carpet. Yeah, for some of the biggest films of the century,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
Mulan and
Uh,
many others. So good
mm,
for you.
thank you.
Seriously, good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, and I think in some ways intuitively they know that I'm a rebellious kind of an individual. So they
Mm,
figured, more opposition they present, I will probably fight it harder. And I think that's
love it.
probably, whether intended or not, that's what happened.
I love that. That's hot, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's really hot. Are you married, by the way?
I
Are you?
am, yes.
You are? For how
I
long?
am. Huh?
For how
Oh,
long?
God, forever. She's gonna kill me. She said, you never told me, Mom." Yeah, I'm a long time married person, yes.
Well, you can tell her that I said it was hot, that you're a
Okay.
rebel. So tell her I said that, okay?
I shall. Thank
Now,
you.
what's been your favorite project in the last few years? Because you've worked on so many at this point.
Right now, what I'm doing right now is my favorite right now because it's Kung Fu is a very special
Is
show, and it's television which reaches audience on a weekly basis.
yeah.
So that's very exciting, and it's the only show that presents a Chinese American family
Mhm.
on the little screen that reaches a huge audience.
Yeah.
So, and we're proud of what we're doing. We're breaking ground, behind the camera and in front of the camera. All we're truly, inclusive and diverse. And our
That's
writing
so nice.
staff also, most of our directors are directors of color and women, LGBTQ plus. So you will see that we are really, I think we're breaking ground, and
Yeah.
hopefully, doesn't we don't I don't want them to see us that way always. I just wanted that to be something of a norm, that you'll see this
Yes.
family and you'll see the influences of a bicultural situation. And I think it's
Right.
very valuable. And in many bicultural families will appreciate it. I think they'll see the similarities as
Yeah.
well.
I
Mhm.
think it's interesting. When I interviewed Shannon Dang, she said similar. No, she was great. I interviewed her about a few months ago, and she
Okay.
was talking about the show. It was actually right when the show was first coming out. And she
Mm.
said something along the lines of, I want this to be a norm, having a show that's focusing on an Asian American family, because we don't have that. There's not a show out there. And I thought about it, and I actually couldn't believe it, because she's right. There isn't a show out there.
That's right.
So I was surprised. When you think about it, there's a lot of things missing from society that we should probably rethink. Now, I don't know where you live normally. I'm guessing you live in LA year
I do.
round. That's where you, okay.
Yes.
I live in
Home
New
base.
York. Yes, I live in
Oh,
New, yeah.
But I'm from New York.
I think I might have known that. Where are you from?
Yeah.
In Queens?
Staten Island?
Wait, was that racist of me to ask if you're from Queens?
Not really.
It's not, right?
Do you have a big presence in Queens? I have no idea.
Wait, so now I feel guilty, because now I think about Flushing, and I think they have a huge Asian American population in
Oh,
Flushing.
yes, that's really new, actually.
Okay, so
By and large, you're talking about Manhattan. Definitely had the oldest Chinatown. But
yes,
it's the second oldest Chinatown in
I just want to
America.
make sure that's not racist that I say that. Are you from Queens? Like, if I don't know, like it's not, right?
Not in my mind.
I
anyway.
love
I'm
you
from
so
Staten
much. I
Island,
literally
so-
love you so much.
Oh, okay.
I do. You're so cool. I love you. No, okay. Staten
Aw.
Island. What part of Staten Island are you from?
Stapleton.
Oh,
Stapleton.
oh.
Yeah, it used to be a kind of a little mini kind of shopping area. So
Yeah,
I'm not quite
no,
sure what it is now. I've been
That's
there a
so
long time.
funny. So
Yeah.
Staten Island, just basically what I think of when I hear Staten Island is, because I'm a little bit into politics as well, is that is the only Republican part of New York. That's the only part of New York right now where, you might see a little bit less mask wearing, I guess, is Staten Island, or a little bit like, let's go in the back door if you don't have a vax. I'm kind of into it. I'm into you.
Is that
All right.
right?
I love it.
Is that no? But I tell you, Staten Island has definitely gone through its transformation.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, we were so isolated before the Verrazano Bridge.
Yeah.
We were kind of connected to New Jersey.
Yeah. I
Until
know.
the bridge.
I know. Trust me. I know.
Yeah.
I like
is-
it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Staten Island is interesting. There was a really huge artist community on Staten Island.
Yeah. No, there
Yeah.
totally
Snug
is.
Harbor, I mean,
Oh,
that's
Snug
pretty
Harbor, the Playhouse.
That's
I
right.
know that. The theater.
Oh,
Yes.
girl.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Snug Harbor. I know. I
right,
know.
all
I'm a
right.
big theater girl, so I've definitely gone out there to see a show or two. I think I saw Rent out there.
Oh,
But
nice.
I know
nice,
it's so
nice.
good. Such a good
Mhm.
show. But what do
Uh-huh.
you feel then about your state and your city? What do you feel, I'm sure you've been reading about what's been going on here. How does that make you feel? It's your hometown.
Yeah, I not only about reading, I have still many friends and I still have family in New York. So
Mm.
it breaks my heart really in what's been happening. It is so overt now. I mean, it's not like, it just happened yesterday. These things have always been there. It's always been kind of underneath in a subterranean style.
Mm.
But right now, everything's bubbling to the surface. And given the politics in New York City, it's so difficult to assess because, the anti-hate, Asian hate is just ongoing. I mean, every week I read somebody being pushed to the train tracks. And what's interesting is I'm not quite sure how the media is covering these things because from what I understand and what I've been hearing is that they don't even mention the ethnicity of the person that's been killed. They just said a woman's been pushed. No, it's an Asian American woman pushed.
Right.
So I'm not quite understanding the omittance of that.
Mm.
And I think, I feel that we're no longer the news where everything's in the back burner and that's a shame. It just continued to happen. And the homeless situation, where the city, for some reason, took advantage of these empty hotels around Chinatown, and they decided to convert it to housing for the homeless. And if that happens, then really, where are they going to go for their sustenance, right? Chinatown. Where else are they going to go? They can't go anywhere else because there are no places for them to go. So if you're going to run into Chinatown, and Chinatown right now, Manhattan Chinatown is basically a community of elderly, and they are not used to having, the kind of sense of danger that's been happening People
Yeah.
recently being attacked, and it's always the most vulnerable of our population that's being attacked, and that's very concerning. And it's not just New York City is not alone in this. It's all China all over North America. It's been happening,
It's
and,
just
and
exceptionally bad in the city though. You agree with that.
absolutely,
It's yeah.
because it's just the sense of the masses that we have it's so tightly compacted. When you have that kind
Right.
of urban environment, even when this if the temperature rises, you're going to get mad because we're in our faces. We're this close
Yeah, I know
always.
you make a good point, but I guess I disagree somewhat about it happening like this in every city, only because I think, like today it came out that Eric Adams was actually restoring money back to the police that de Blasio
Yeah.
defunded, so it's like
Right.
these things are happening in the city because he has to fix what was, excuse my language, fucked up before, right? So there's a lot of things that are going on now where bad things are happening, but
Yeah.
I'm so hopeful that
Mhm.
that good things are coming. I feel like we really, we
Yeah.
deserve this. And to your point about them not even saying, an Asian American woman was pushed, and it's like
Right.
they put, I don't know if you saw the post, but and I get it, I completely get it. This is what sells the paper, but
Mhm.
they had the guy's face, the crazy guy that pushed
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
all over and I'm like, where is, the
That's
poor
right.
woman that was pushed, Michelle, like now I feel like an
Michelle
asshole because I
Go.
forgot her last name, but Michelle,
Go.
thank you. Yeah.
Mhm.
But so I was like, where is she? Like, this
Right.
is crazy. They just want to sell
Mhm.
papers and that's what they do.
Right.
So that
Right.
that is upsetting. It's so upsetting.
Yeah.
But
That has to change. I mean, really, I think it will stoke the fires of people who know what's the right thing to do.
yeah.
Hopefully that will continue to fire up the younger generation. To really come out and do something, say something, be proactive.
Yeah.
Participate, go vote. I mean, really.
Hmm.
I mean, I think ultimately it is at the ballot boxes. We need to show, we really need to show a force. And
Yeah.
and I think all of these things needs to happen simultaneously. A lot of times we look at one thing and we say, oh, let's do that.
Hmm.
No, we have to do everything at the same time. Otherwise, you prop up one side, the other side's going to fall. So I
Yeah.
think it needs that kind of concerted, and we need to find allyship. We need
Mhm.
people who are allies. We cannot function. There's one thing that I feel, liberal and progressive factions of the country is that we're too individualistic. We just function on our own way. We
Mhm.
can't, I think we can't do that. We don't have the numbers. I think we need to really get together,
Yeah. I,
function as a one unit. Otherwise, I think that the effort's wasted.
I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. I miss the days when
Yes.
Republicans and Democrats could actually be in the same room
Mhm.
without completely hating each other and
Right.
and destroying each other, and just
Mhm.
it's gotten to the point where I mean it's it keeps me up at night. I will say it, the
Mhm.
all of everything that's going on, and also how nonsensical it's become, if you will. I think
Oh,
that, right? I mean, and I think that something Democrats and Republicans can actually agree upon is that everybody's really confused. Nobody knows the right thing to do anymore. And these rules that are coming out, it's like, what are we supposed to listen to? Everybody's confused.
yeah, the confusion on the other side of the aisle is that they don't say anything. They just
Right.
hide. And I don't get that. I don't understand. I really don't
Mhm.
understand how outrageous and preposterous, but what is being, perpetuated outside.
Right.
And really, you don't have the guts to say something about that. That's wrong.
Mhm.
And they need to be held accountable for that, really.
Yeah. No,
Just to turn the blind eye. I mean, that's just not gonna happen. They can't
no,
happen.
I get it. And I feel like it's everybody's up in arms right now in New York because the
Right.
Supreme Court blocked the mask mandates, which is, sorry to say, it's great for us because I don't really want to wear a mask all the time.
Mhm,
But because
mhm,
I had COVID, I'm fine. But people are freaking
mhm.
out because the kids still have to wear the masks in
Right.
school.
Right.
Now,
Right.
I don't know how I feel about this. I just know that my daughter gets a little sad wearing a mask at school. And when she wants a mask break, she has to sit in a corner like she's being punished and she can't play
Oh,
with
is that right? I didn't know that.
Well, that's just what happens at certain schools that are very, my friend's daughter, they gave her a call and they said, listen, we love your daughter. Your daughter's amazing.
Mhm.
But thinking like, oh no, she needs more practice with her phonics skills, her reading skills. Oh no, her mask is below her nose too much. It's like, these are the calls that parents are getting now. It's like, come
Oh,
on,
yeah.
can we go back to what actually matters? Like teaching our
Mhm.
children. It's so funny. It's like, when
Mhm.
can we go back to just, I don't want to say normal life because things will never be the same. Do you agree
Right.
with that? I
I
mean,
absolutely agree with it. And
yeah.
I think ultimately, I think we're still finding our way because everything is still so unpredictable. We're learning a lot more as day in, day in, day out, we are learning more. I think eventually, I think we're going to find a happy medium, really.
Yes.
And
Yes.
mask wearing is interesting because it is, I mean, we were, even on the show,
Yes.
we just wear our masks until we're ready to shoot.
Yeah. You're
So,
used to it.
so yeah, I am. I am
Mhm.
getting used to it, but it is kind of like cumbersome in a lot of ways. And hopefully we'll find some happy medium is when we wear them, you know,
Yeah.
and when we don't have to, and I think even we're gonna get there. I think that's the least of my worries, really.
No,
No,
totally.
because we have good scientists. They know
Yes.
what they're doing. They're working day in, day out, trying to solve this riddle of COVID.
Hmm.
And I think we're
Yes.
going to get there. It's the other stuff that I'm really much more worried about,
It's the Russia Ukraine stuff. Now, just to wrap things up because we do have to
Yeah.
go. I just
Oh,
want to close out with the movie only because
yes.
again, it means so much to me that you took this
Mm.
time to talk to me about this amazing film. Now, last thing, and it's a little cliche, but just plug the movie. Why should people rent or buy A Shot Through the Wall?
I think you'll appreciate the filmmaking of it if you're a film buff, because
Okay.
it's an excellent film. Okay, the storytelling of it is really compelling. If you want something to move you, you're gonna love it. Because if you just want, some Marvel stuff, then this may not be the movie for you. But as far as if something that's meaningful, something that is going to create conversation, if something that tickles your mind, something that tickles your heart, something that tickles your soul, go see Shot Through the Wall.
Wow, I should pay you for that. Or they should pay you. Not me. It's not my movie, but they should pay you. That was amazing. And let
Oh,
me just add to that. It's like you said, there's this movie, it's
yeah.
something that you want to talk about. Like I watched it alone, but I really want to have a discussion full out with
Mhm.
somebody
Yes.
about the ending per se and
Mhm.
just again so many things that unraveled
Mhm.
in this movie and what's fair and what's not. And so
Mhm.
everybody watch it and then you can
Right.
inbox me or whatever, we can talk about it, have coffee.
Absolutely. And again, you're talking about Amy Long is the first time filmmaker,
Oh, I
as
didn't actually know that.
her first feature film. I mean,
Wow.
come on, if you believe in diversity and equality, in terms
Yeah.
of that, and go support her. She's
Oh my
amazing.
gosh. And a cast like that, it was like you and Kate Curtin and Kelly
I
Coyne. And I
know.
was like,
Yeah.
this is a great cast. I love everybody. Oh my gosh. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much. This has been so nice. You're so amazing to speak with and
Oh,
talk to you. I feel like I'm talking to like a friend that I've known forever.
no, I thank you.
Really?
Thanks for having me. You're
Yes.
terrific too.
Of course. Okay. Well, have a good one. All right.
You bet. Okay.
Okay. Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
You bet.
Bye.
Bye bye. Have a good one. Bye.